Howdy. Alright, I'm basically here to show you what we've been working on. Alright, so this is a box tube steel constructed frame for these 21 solar panels. They register at 405 watts. They are monocrystalline and they are bifacial. You can see in the back of the panel, it's an actual panel behind there. I can flip that panel upside down and it will work in the same fashion. So I have up here 7 solar panels in a string line, negative and positive, in 3 rows. Pretty easy, basic 20 by 20 box tube. Everything comes up in 20 foot lengths. The beam here, as you can clearly see, is a 2 by 6 20 foot length post. These were 24s, we just cut them in half, put 2 foot into the ground, and then the other 2 in the back, reversed it. Then we used 3 main supports, one on the outside, one in the center, and one on the other side. And then again, used the same line to be able to support the structure and weight itself off of this main center crippler. We used 2 by 3 box tube steel going up here, and all this thickness is less than 100 thousandths, so I think it's like registered somewhere around 80 thousandths. All right, so normally we put a disconnect out here for fire safety purposes, things of that nature. What we did was we went ahead and just ran everything in, tied it into the main system, and put the actual disconnect out towards the house. So we ran all the conduit, 2 separate lines, negative, positive, 3 lines each. So there was a grand total of 7 plus the ground all the way through the side of the concrete, cut up to make easy runs so we can stay busy. One guy was doing this way, one guy was completing over to the box over here. So we put a junction here just to kind of help split up the work, because that is a pretty far distance if you are missing any feedage on your cord itself. All right, now we're on the other side of the gate. We walk through and keep digging, and get through this gate. My little security gates, dogs and stuff like that. All right, and then we get to the actual meat and potatoes of the project here. So again, kept digging all the way up to this point right here. Tied all the wires in. Came up with a watertight flex, seal-tight flex tube. Came down the line. Came into the actual box itself. And they won't allow me to open it up to show you what it looks like, because I'd end up shutting the system down. You know what? That's fine. We'll go ahead and do it. We don't mind. All right. So we have our 3 main hots coming in, and then we have the 3 hots going back out. So live power goes into the top, power going out of the system comes to the bottom. And we tied all these off, plus the ground, kept it separate. And the job boxes here that you see, go ahead and turn that back on. All right, so we have a 48 volt Gill 4th generation lithium LiPo. And then we have 2 25.6, as you can clearly tell. 25.6, 25.6. And this one is the 48. Now this is an independent series. I'll show you on the inside. There's 3 main inverters. So there's 3 independent battery packs for each type of setup. Same setup all the way through. So, all right. So right now it's showing we have about 48%, and it is charging at 24 amps coming off of the solar array right now, off of the actual each battery. And then of course this one's going to be roughly about half, because it's twice the voltage. Just remember that, because amps times watts equal volts, right? And the same thing. So we come over here, that's the system 2. Alright, just press any of these buttons gives you, okay, so these are at 49 and 52, balance charging. You can go to each one of the cells, as you can clearly tell, find out this cell 6. Alright, well anyways, you get the point. Same thing, come over to the last system. So this one's 100% charged. This one was on the inside of the inverter. This one was basically running the house. This inverter and battery pack itself was running the house, bypassing the actual solar implication. I have a 48 just in case, you know, we need to jump start the batteries for whatever reason, in case because this is a complete off-grid system here. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and close up this thing. I love this. I am so proud of this. All right, go ahead and show you on the inside. Put all the stickers that we need on each one of the boxes. Everything looks uniform, everything looks clean. This is the main junction box that goes into the house. We got 2 DC wires plus a ground, 2 DC wires plus a ground, 2 DC wires plus a ground, all coming into this main junction box. This was an extra leg just in case I needed to run something later on to this box here. This is the AC power coming into the supply, as you can tell, and I will show you what the inside looks like. All right, so now we're on the inside of the house. I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through what's going on here. All right. Let's see. So we have the 3 main inverters, just like we do with the 3 individual battery packs in the 2 boxes there. So we link these cords together, and it allows the growwatts to communicate through one another on its own input and output frequency to run the home. So what that means is if we go through here, get this thing to focus, there we go. We got 240 volts underneath a load pushing the voltage for the house, bypassing the system if it doesn't need to charge the battery. If it needs to charge the battery, right now it's running 1% of its total load off of this inverter. Let's see what it does. Go through, it says the batteries are, all right, so we got 9.5 amps of solar coming in. 1 amp is going to the house. 39.4 amps are going to the battery. Awesome, that means it's charging. Same thing here, underneath the load, 230 volt. We adjust that to 240, going into the system. All right, so this one here. So we made what, 22 kW of solar so far onto the system. 1 amp is going to the battery. 2.9. So this must be the battery that's charged. That's on bank 1. Bank 1 over in this corner. Bank 2 is going to be him. All right. And then we have this one over here. Let's see, but I wanted to explain this. Okay, so he's not charging the batteries as much, right? Because the batteries are already at 100%. So it's bypassing that system and putting out 12% of its actual output for the house itself underneath the load, bypassing the system and going direct. And then over here, we're not pushing any. Let's see what's going on here. 54 volts. Oh, we're pushing in battery. All right, so he's literally storing the battery only. He doesn't need to help out the 2 other guys. They don't need no help. So he's charging his bank for tonight pretty much. This is number so this is number 1 SL inverter, right? This is number 2, and this is the house version. This is where it's pushing and pulling, making sure that these 2 are doing what they're supposed to do. All right, go ahead and walk you through what we have over here, because we're in off-grid applications right now. All right, so this is the Generac transfer switch. I put a button on the inside. It helps transfer power really, really efficiently. All right, so since they're off-grid, we have only one switch here that goes to the transfer switch that runs everything, okay? So everything else is bypassed. We don't have any, these are all dead switches. There's nothing that works here. All right, we ended up bypassing the whole system to be able to do it this way. So if their battery bank goes down for whatever reason, right, any reason, all we have to do is go back to house power and that will supply and charge and keep everything going. Now, if they want to live off grid, which we're trying to do here, right, then all we have to do is literally turn the whole power system off to the house. There's no power whatsoever. Push the button, and we're off grid. Everything's back online. Should have actually had the light for the demonstration for that. Here, we'll do it again. One more time. Alright, so we're going to go back to house power. This is house, as you can clearly tell. No power coming into the system. Nope. 14. He should be dropping. Yeah, so the inverter should be dropping to 0 pretty soon, because we are on the house power at this point. Okay, so he's showing nothing. He's showing nothing. Should be turning off. Oh, that's right, yeah, because he's charging off the AC side. Okay, so there. Alright. So go here, turn off the house power. We got nothing. Press the button. We're back in business. So I'm gonna change. He's floating in between. Anyways, I'm Mark Millett. I hope I can answer any questions. I hope you like the setup. Please give any comments, future references, things of that nature. Anyways, God bless. Thank you so much.